Welcome to the Float Podcast, an entrepreneurial journey. My name is Nick Janicki, once a wide-eyed hippie with purple dreadlocks, and now the founder of the True Rest Float Spa, the fastest growing floating franchisor in the world, and CEO of FloatPod Technologies, the industry leader in float pods. Follow me along in my entrepreneurial journey with what will become the next billion-dollar industry to enter the health and wellness sector. Let's connect with world-class athletes, actors, musicians, doctors, industry experts, and explore the mindsets of powerful entrepreneurs. Let's get this floating party started. Hey guys, welcome. This one is a money, what did we name this one? A briefcase of money, or lots of money is in a briefcase? I forget what we named the episode. But anyway, this is a great episode. This is episode 1 of the Float Podcast. Go to floatpodcast.com for more information. And this is basically me paying my dad back, who was an investor on my original store 5 or 6 years ago. And so this was a huge moment for me. It's super awesome, super fun. We got a briefcase full of money. On the video version of this, if you're listening to the audio, go check out the video. We have some awesome footage of Chase stacking up piles of money and then me walking out with a $100,000 briefcase. So super fun. I interviewed Pops, my dad, a little bit about the flotation industry, and then basically dump $100,000 in his lap. So enjoy, and we'll see you in the next episode. Totally.
All right, guys. Have a good day. Thank you for being so patient.
So much. I feel like we need to run.
What you doing today, Nick?
Well, you know, paying off an investor, paying off Pops for invested in us, $100,000 cash. We could probably be quiet about that in the parking lot. All right, let's do it. All right, so we're here with Pops, Nick Sr., otherwise known as Daddy-O, or Dad, or whatever you want to say. But, you know, we started True Rest 6 years ago, and, you know, if you remember, you know, what we're trying to get into is just, you know, 6 years ago, this was a completely unknown business. Yes, so there's very few float centers involved. You know, I came to you with a 40-page business plan, was like, you know, look over this, you have 30 years of experience in business, what you think. So I'd love to kind of get, you know, what you thought of the business 6 years ago when we started, in terms of what you felt, in terms of the potential, and then, you know, what are you thinking now that we're 6 years along the road? We're doing some manufacturing, we're franchising the concept, you know. So let's start there. Kind of give a 2-minute version of your background, and then what you thought when I brought you the business plan.
Well, a little bit of the background. As you know, you spent half your life growing up.
I know your background, but not everyone else does.
Well, actually, yeah, we lived in the U.S. until 1988, and then moved to England for 12 years, and moved back in 2000, and probably 2008, was it? I'm getting towards the end of my career, and you're kind of at the beginning of yours, and you came up with this idea, I think, after going to Sedona, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
And floating, it goes, I think that this could be a viable business. And so you put together a business plan, and we reviewed it, and made a lot of sense. And it's kind of interesting because much of what was in the original business plan you actually did, which I find very unusual. I think in general, normally you go into a situation and then everything changes. But you know, effectively you then researched it, found a pod that you liked in England, and ended up flying over there for a day, buying 4 of them, flying back. And
not the same day, but yeah.
Not the same day, but then we had all the obvious problems, typical problems starting up. Saving pennies here and there cost us dollars, maybe hundreds of dollars. But we eventually got it going, and it's actually done very, very well. And of course, since with it going very well, then we decided, well, what else can we do? We found out that the product itself was phenomenal.
But I'm curious, as a father. So when I came to you originally, and you've always been very supportive, and I would say that's the biggest thing I tell people is, we couldn't have done this definitely without you. You invested quite a bit. Holly and I invested quite a bit. We had friends and family that invested quite a bit. But I mean, what was your initial feeling when I was approaching you and saying, hey, this is an unknown business, here's a business plan, it's this weird thing floating. I mean, what was your emotional or feeling at that time?
Well, from my perspective, I actually looked at your business plan as a business plan. Mm-hmm. I mean, I looked at it from very much a dollar and cent point of view.
Right.
The money I was going to invest was money that bluntly absolutely represented some of my retirement money.
Right.
And it was a solid plan. And in terms of what we were going to do, what the market price would be, what your models were, and other people you researched in the spa business, it was solid.
Now, do you think, in terms of where we're going, has it exceeded your expectations on how fast we're going? I mean, the first couple of years were a little rough.
It was very interesting, and I think I very much enjoyed floating. Mm-hmm. Okay, my first experience was very pleasant, and I think the first time I floated, I must have been pushing 60, so late 50s at the very least, and still it was very unique.
Right.
A very relaxing
with pain and
with all types of things,
right.
And just in terms of mind clarity and
right.
You talk to people and you get all different opinions on it, but I found it at least as rewarding as a massage.
Right.
And looking at it then from a business point of view, it's like, well, okay, this is a repeatable massage, which you don't often get.
Well, and I put Massage Envy in my original business plan.
I know, absolutely. But with a product like this, especially with the pod, you can have a pod here, you can have one in New York City, you can have one anywhere in the world, and it's going to be effectively the same experience.
Right.
And I thought that was very positive. The only drawback I saw to the product, and you know this as well as I do, is a lack of exposure. Mm-hmm. It was amazing at first. One out of 20 people had a clue of what you were talking about, and those were people that saw that old movie.
Right,
about
Altered States. And I wouldn't even say it was that much. I would say when we went to trade shows, it was more like 1 out of 100 people knew what it was. And
then at that point,
50,
absolutely.
50 out of 100, 50% were claustrophobic, it's a funny thing. I mean, now it's
changed entirely. But they aren't anymore. It's funny how that is. And,
right.
It's interesting. It's what I've seen over the last 8 years is actually pretty much a huge range of people. When initially started out somewhat 30 to 40-year-old males in a way. There were some women that tried it. Now when you go into the spa, it is 25 to 60 and even split between men and women, and obviously everybody's benefiting from floating.
Absolutely,
no doubt about it.
Yes, totally.
So so from that perspective, my big concern was, would there be enough exposure? Would people find the product quick enough? And maybe this is where the internet has helped a lot.
Yep.
Because we didn't have to do a lot of direct market. I mean, we tried some.
Right.
The movie theater that
we tried a bunch of weird.
We tried it.
We wasted a lot of money, but
yes, we did.
I mean, the one thing I really love is Holly and I last year were able to pay off our debt, and one of the things we wanted to do is when I started this, my big thing was pay back the people that helped you first was my biggest thing. And so, we talked earlier this afternoon, and one of the things we wanted to do is, just wanted to show you this, just to open this up real quick, and just click this button.
Okay.
And so one of the things I wanted to do is we still owed you a little money. So this is actually $100,000 in cash.
Oh, wow.
That,
I hope you don't want me to take that with you.
Whatever you want to do.
I don't want to take this with me.
But
let's put it back in the.
We'll put it back in the bank. But we thought it was a good thing to do.
Thank you.
And so
that's hilarious.
So these are $10,000 each.
This.
And so we wanted to just.
I'm not sure we even want to get this on film. Wow, that's pretty.
But this took me 2 weeks. The bank didn't even have it available.
It's all 20s too. Thank you.
And this is just your tip money, here. So this is about $30,000 in here, but it's all wrapped up.
Wow,
but we wanted to do that for you.
That's hilarious.
And whatever you want to do, if you want to pay it off, you want to reinvest it, that's up to you. So.
Well, let's put it back in the bank for right now. I think that might be a good idea. I hope the door was locked.
Yeah, when we were in the parking lot, it's pretty funny.
That is hilarious. And that's real money, too.
That is real money. Yes.
We won't give that to Ethan. It looks like some of his fake money. So.
Yes, but no, but that
Thank
was our
you.
biggest thing is we wanted to pay you back, and we've had that over our head for a long time, and we thought, it's definitely time to pay you back, for sure.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Obviously, there's things we can do with that. so.
Absolutely right. It's pretty good. But I mean, what you're feeling now, it's like, things are doing well, floating is catching on, manufacturers are going well, franchising is going well. We have 3 stores open, 7 pending being open, and all of them were pretty much fully booked the day they started.
I know, that's incredible.
And so Roseville has 90 members, PAL's been open for a week, they have 25 members. We're converting about 22 to 23% of people from new clients to members. And I think it's just, this is an incredible business, and it's helping a lot of people. And my thing when I started is I wanted to have a million people floating, within 10 years of starting. And I actually think we have a shot of doing
Yeah, I
that.
do too. Absolutely.
Which is super cool.
Yeah, it's been quite a trip the
Yes.
last 8 years. And it's been interesting. I mean, there really haven't been too many downs other than the learning experiences we had to go through, and the fact that you got $100,000 out of the bank in cash. Once again, I kind of questioned the wisdom of that decision, but
It's great for a podcast.
okay then.
It's
Absolutely.
great for a podcast.
Absolutely. That's good then.
Very good. Well,
That's
I mean,
great. Thanks. Love you too. Thanks for the money.